there she is.
Hello, Amy. Yes.
We're holding on.
Definite, oh my gosh. It's not a Yelp
Pretty old.
review. It's the level of oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's really bright. Okay, I'm gonna tell you my thoughts. Okay, so Pep, you touched on this, and because Curt, you had said, and I want to say, if one of our people does not have the book, get it. It is so incredible, and so get it. This is Curt. You say, I am so often encumbered with my own internal anxiety and rumination, and like Pep, you say, God's glory is crowded to the edges of my mind, and I think the idea of ruminating and about our anxiety and all the thoughts we're having, I think any of us can connect with that feeling, that state of mind. And then, and I'm going to read it because Curt, you say, we do not often imagine, nor do we find it easy to imagine, who we would become in the presence of his gaze of joy directed at us. And it hits me that even the imagining it, we're not even there yet, right? We're not fully realizing or even partially realizing God's glory and God's gaze of delight with us. But just imagining, just being willing to be still and avert our eyes, shift our mind, shift our thoughts to, like, I can only imagine what it would be like if I grasped his gaze. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, it's if we were, just imagining what my general posture would be leaving the house every day. If I leave with a sense that God is delighted with me.
Yes.
And when the person cuts me off in traffic, it's okay. Yeah. It's easy for me not to do that work, not to practice. It would be easier for me to just keep my head down, as Cheney was initially. Just keep my head down.
And if I keep my head down, because it's a groove for us, right? It's a It's a familiar.
Yeah, totally. I'm kind of walking around with my head, like not looking at his gaze.
Yeah. Pep, it looked like you were going to say something.
No, what I was going to say is we've talked about this before, this idea of what would change if you went out into your day thinking that God is delighted in me. And I was just rewriting that in my journal because it's something that I want to take with me. I want to practice this because even right now, as I'm thinking it, something changes in me.
Yes. Yes.
Something changes in me.
Yeah, me too.
But I think it is also it's not like I can just say, okay, I'm delighted that I can just say that to myself, having not experienced that through other people as well and not done the work. I mean, I can just say that and not really understand what that means, but I can experience what that could mean by your gazes and your, so that's embodied. And so it's
well, and that hit me too, like with the like, remember, real embodied experiences of someone else's gaze. And I think saying that to other people, like am I putting words when I'm happy to see someone? That's a vulnerable act.
Yeah,
and I think
it is.
It is. And I think we've got to say it. Like, I want to say, tell me every time you're happy to see me.
Right.
Like, like put words to it. Cause I don't always say it. Cause I think, well, I'm going to look ridiculous. Or for a lot of reasons. Right. And I think, okay, am I giving other people, am I putting words to it? Not,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's obvious I think it's obvious. I don't have to put words to it, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, okay, the whole dogs thing is a great, like what we've talked about before, Riley, she just goes crazy when I go over to Nicole's. Crazy. And I think I just saw you 20 minutes ago. All I did was, run out to my car.
Mm-hmm.
But just thinking of that, but if it's the creator of the universe, I mean, not that Riley and Ginger aren't amazing, but it's like the creator of the universe is delighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to walk through the door
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I really just long for our listeners to take this in, and I think about the general tenor of where we are in our cultural moment, and how frequently, of course, this is not the posture that most of us are imagining. When you listen to the news on social media, those kinds of things, the vitriol and the violence and the harshness and so forth do not seem to relay a sense of, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that these people are in the world, or I'm glad to be in the world with you. There's very little sense of that. There's just a lot of anxiety and violence, and I want to suggest that the way that we respond to this most powerfully, as it turns out, is by doing the simple acts of allowing ourselves to be loved by God, and then testing the waters to see what it's like when we begin to do even what you just said, Amy. Like, imagine this, we could tack this on to the exercise that we want people to enter into. This notion of, if you anytime this week that you see somebody that you really enjoy being with, tell them that. Go out of your way to say, I just want to say, I'm really glad to be in the room with you. I mean, who doesn't want to hear that?
Right.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yes. This was great.
All right, then.
All right. Until next time. Thanks, you guys.
Until next time. Right.
Love you guys.
Looking forward to it. All right. Love you.
Too.
We'll see you.
Bye.